What if the archetypes of the Zodiac hold clues to your past lives, your soul patterns, and the deeper purpose you came here to fulfill? Listen to this episode of the Radiate Wellness Podcast to learn more.
Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Christy Clemens Hoffman, and in this episode, we're diving into the fascinating intersection of astrology, archetypes, and past lives. My guest is author and astrologer plus friend and fellow Missourian, Carmen Turner Schott, co-author of the new book, Astrology's Zodiac Archetypes, Using Your Sixth Sense to Transform Past Life Patterns. In this conversation, we explore how the archetypal energies of the zodiac, rooted in the work of psychologist Carl Jung, can reveal patterns we may have carried from previous lifetimes, and how these patterns influence our relationships, our personality, and even our soul mission today. Carmen shares how astrology, tarot symbolism, personality theory, and ancient concepts like the four temperaments all connect in surprising ways. If you've ever wondered why you react the way you do, or how your soul's journey may have unfolded across lifetimes, this conversation will open your mind in the best possible way. But before we begin, please take a moment to like and share this podcast episode to help boost the algorithms so more people can discover these conversations. Seems simple, but this lets all platforms know that people are listening and engaging with this podcast, which helps a lot. Also, be sure to follow or subscribe to the Radiate Wellness Podcast wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoy these topics, I invite you to check out my other show, the Real Life Angel Encounters Podcast, where we explore true stories of divine guidance, angelic encounters, and spiritual awakening. If you'd like to support the work that we're doing here, you can also donate to help keep the podcast going and growing. Check out our donation link in the show notes. Now settle in as we explore zodiac archetypes and the patterns of the soul with Carmen Turner Schott. Welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast, where today we radiate your archetype with my dear friend and fellow Missouri girl, Carmen Turner Schott. And Carmen is the co-author of the new book, Astrology Zodiac Archetypes, Using Your Sixth Sense to Transform Past Life Patterns. Oh,
yes.
This is going to be so cool. I am looking forward to this, Carmen.
I am excited. The archetype, the Jungian archetypes, I always loved Carl Jung. And I started thinking it's all connected. I was working, how it all happened that Bernie and I came together. I was working on a book about the archetypes. I had an artist from the UK, her name's Michelle Stapleford, in my Facebook groups for years. And I said, you're an artist. Would you be interested in creating an image with the symbols of astrology in each image, but based on each of Carl Jung's archetypes? And she's been painting real paintings, working on this for about 3 years with me to make these images come to life. In the book, we have each image at the end of each science chapter with some journal prompts. They don't do color images, so some of them are black and white, but they're amazing, and they're real paintings that she has and she did. And it took her a couple years to get them all done. And so I have been working on that. And then I told Bernie, he said, we should write a book together about the patterns. And I said, I've been doing this book, and just blended and wrote this book together and incorporated the archetypes, her art, and then his past life research. So about each science. So we just kind of blended it.
Tell me a bit about your co-author, Bernie Ashman.
So Bernie has been an astrologer since the 70s, the late 70s. And he published his first book back then, The Astrological Games People Play. And this was a long time ago. Bernie's from North Carolina, and he developed astrology software. He's been an astrologer for a long time. He's a published author as well with Llewellyn. And then we wrote 2 books together now with O Books. But Bernie's been in my Facebook astrology 8th house group since I started it when Facebook started. And we've had a friendship just messaging Facebook in the group. And he was really like a mentor to me, encouraged me to write a book, gave me the courage to submit a manuscript. So we've been friends a long time, writing books together.
So he does like past life astrology. How does past life astrology even work? We've got this lifetime that we're in, that the stars are in a certain place. And then how does past life astrology work? I don't get it.
So it's similar to the book we wrote together, Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon. The nodes of the moon, the north and south nodes in the birth chart, show the past life patterns and this future life soul mission. It's all connected. And then Bernie took it a step further in his research when he created some astrology programs that each sun sign brings into this past life memories and strengths and patterns. And so that's what we included in this book, which is more about the sun sign, not the nodes. But we do have a book on the nodes as well. And it's all connected. Everything is energy. So we go through Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Every sign has its page. And the past life patterns are often things that we need to transform, because a lot of times when you think of karma are things that we need to learn. Karma's not easy always. Karma's ruled by Saturn, the planet of responsibility, wisdom, and time. So that's why karma to me is always a little bit of growing pains. And so it's traits that we naturally do bring into this life, or even behaviors that we're so used to doing from the past lives that we replay them. And that's what it's about. We share what those patterns might be. And you may not have all the past life patterns, but you may resonate with some of them. And then we give tips on how you can transform. You're supposed to focus on this life if you're an Aries, if you're a Taurus, if you're a Gemini, and so on. And so we have that in the book along with what your Jungian archetype is, because one of the cool things, I'm a social worker, licensed social worker, but I'm a professor of social work now. I did a presentation for the Kentucky Social Workers Association in August. They had me brief on astrology as a tool of healing in the helping profession, broaden my research to bring to that presentation, because I was dealing with educators, right? Not everyone was open-minded or knew these things. So I had a lot of quotes and research from Carl Jung, because Carl Jung used to write Sigmund Freud letters. So that's where we have a lot of research on psychology came from the letters that Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud wrote. And in the letters that Jung wrote Freud, Jung was an astrologer. He was casting birth charts for couples. He told Freud he did over 44 relationship charts, and it was unbelievable to him how these patterns and these energies were playing out in these people's intimate relationships. So he was an astrologer, which most people that study this stuff don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And of course, archetypes are his thing. And so Jung was a master of finding the patterns between everything.
Yes, the collective unconscious. And this is what I also learned. This is what I realized, is that he coined the collective unconscious, and then his dream research is his dream symbols and how all these universal symbols. But his first archetypes were really the anima, the animus, and the shadow. And then his followers expanded those archetypes into the 12 archetypes, his theories and his patterns and his dream symbols and all the stuff. So I always thought he's the one that coined the hero, the regular person, the jester. And I'm like, oh, it's like his Jungian analyst expanded the archetypes because they were studying astrology. And those terms or words of the archetype itself, it encompasses the energy of the 12 zodiac signs. They're identical. And it's so cool. And that's what I wanted to cover in this book. I'll mail you a copy. I just got my author copies literally this weekend. Yeah, I've been waiting on them. And I'll send you a copy. And in the introduction, we talk about the 4 humors. I don't know if you've heard of the 4 humors.
Oh my gosh, from medieval medicine. Yes.
So I talk about that in the book because they're connected to the 4 elements in astrology. They're connected to the areas of the body that each zodiac sign is vulnerable. It's all connected because modern medicine, the medical people in those times were astrologers and
Right.
Hippocrates and all of them. And they started seeing that, wow, people born this month and these days, they are prone to these illnesses. And that's how, and then they called it the four humors, which was the bile in the body. But the
Right.
four humors, I connect with each of the elements, fire, air, earth, and water, and they're all connected. And I talk about that in the book. And then we broaden it to personality theory. Myers-Briggs, for instance, is based on Carl Jung's 12 archetypes. Introversion, extroversion.
Yeah.
It's all based on Carl Jung's research, really his theories. And
Right.
people, so the Myers-Briggs, you're introvert, extrovert, you're intuitive, feeling, thinking, judging. There's all the different, the INFJ is what I am, an INFJ. And they had us take these tests when I did practicums in grad school. What's your Myers-Briggs? And back then I was an astrologer, but I didn't even know that it was connected until I started doing this research a couple years ago. And so now I found out that when I was working for the government, everybody got trained in what was called the True Colors or the Four Lenses personality tool. And I was a trained facilitator. So I would train teams and airmen and my coworkers on what color are they? Out of the four colors, what's their primary personality color? What's their secondary? Who are they least like? So there's gold, blue, orange, and green, which are also connected to the four elements and the four humors.
You see, you're blowing my mind here, Carmen. All of this stuff is out there. We've been talking about the four humors. Oh my gosh, hundreds of years ago, if not further back.
Yes.
And then Jung in late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff has been out there. Astrology, the 12 signs have been around forever. So all of this overlaps. We've had this information and just putting it together in different ways. Oh, fascinating. Let's go to the humors because I'm interested in that. The four
Yeah.
humors are bile, phlegm, blood.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm going to pull the book up right here. So we got, they called them the four temperaments.
Because they were also, they're fluids in the body, but they're also our moods and yes, our archetypes, what type of person we are.
So the four temperaments are sanguine,
Blood.
melancholic, and phlegmatic.
Okay, yeah.
And in the book, we have a grid and we have each sign, what temperament they're associated with, what color. So we make it really easy, like a basic thing for everybody. And it's the elements. So the fire element is the choleric temperament, and that's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Then we have water is the phlegmatic temperament, and it's connected to Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Then we have the melancholic, which is the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And it's interesting because, and then you have the air, the sanguine or the air signs, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And in ancient medical astrology, they believe the temperaments would become unbalanced and affected individuals' health and mental health, their mind.
Is fascinating. It's almost like we designed all this stuff before we were born.
Yes.
If I didn't know better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we're looking at the past life aspect of it, it's like it takes on an even bigger importance in my mind that we really do plan our experiences, not just the life that we're in, but we're already working on the next one. And we've planned this one long ago. It could be many lives ago, what we wanted to do. Very, very interesting. So how did you and Bernie go about just putting this book together?
So that was the interesting part because when I started doing the research online, there were all kinds of different websites that said different things. Like they match different archetypes with the zodiac signs. And some of them, like, nah, I don't agree with that. And then I'm like, why are they all different? It was just them not knowing astrology, really. And so Bernie and I sat down and we went through each archetype and we're like, okay. And we also narrowed it down as we looked at the tarot cards, the Rider-Waite tarot deck.
Yes.
Because it's also archetype symbols.
Very interesting.
All of the major arcana, this is also what's cool. The major arcana in the tarot deck, all are ruled by a sign or a planet. All of them.
Right.
The 12 main tarot cards, and then all of them. Was there 32? 32 major arcana. I was just looking at. So the Emperor is Aries. And in the Emperor card, you see the rams on the throne in the ancient Rider Tarot deck.
Oh my
That's
God.
Aries, the ram
You're
in
blowing my
astrology.
mind. This stuff is out there in plain sight.
These hidden symbols, this symbolic language is what Carl Jung said is everywhere. And
Heck.
even tarot cards were around before Carl Jung.
Oh, long ago.
Yeah, and so
I
is
mean,
astrology.
thousands of years. Yes, absolutely. These are ancient.
So what was really weird also when I started looking into this is these symbol, I'm like, how these traditional Rider Waite, it was all connected. And I took a class many years ago. It was a Golden Dawn class about all this stuff. It was a long time ago.
Oh,
And I was learning about because it was astrology and connecting it to the tarot and all this stuff. And that's how I started learning some of the symbols. But the Aries is the hero archetype.
that makes
Hero,
sense.
Emperor. They're orange, they're fire, they're the choleric temperament, okay? And they're the warrior, crusader, soldier archetype too. We added a few other keywords of the archetype to have you feel it's Aries personality. They're rushing into battle, the first in a crisis to help someone, and the image that she made, she painted two images, and I'm like, man, it's hard to pick, but it was firefighters
Oh,
fighting a fire as Aries
yes.
symbolism. And then Tauruses are known, they're the realist
Mhm.
archetype. They're practical, they're earth, they're melancholic temperament. They're the regular person archetype, the solid citizen archetype,
Yeah,
and they're the Hierophant in the tarot deck. Taurus is
makes
very
sense.
into rules and structure
Oh,
and
absolutely.
practical stuff and knowing, planning things,
Interesting. Very
having peace and harmony,
right.
or having money and security.
Absolutely. Your book breaks down each one of the signs into their archetype. This is
Yes, yes,
so interesting. And our
yes.
past life patterns. So I don't have a copy of it right now.
Sure.
How do you structure the book?
So the introduction is about the basics of the temperaments. Then we go into the grid. So we talk about the 12 signs, what the 12 archetypes are. We
Mhm.
have the tarot cards. We have a grid matching the elements with the temperaments and everything. So for beginners in the introduction chapter, you're going to see everything. You're going to know the symbol of each sign in the grid. You're going to know what's polar opposite archetype. We have it all there for you because it's good to know all the archetypes. And the reason is this: all the 12 archetypes exist in your birth chart. We all have all 12 archetypes
Yeah.
somewhere in our natal chart. And if you tap in and understand deeper the energies of these archetypes and these traits, these
Mhm.
patterns, these personality traits, these thoughts, these emotions, these behaviors that we have that are inborn. They're in our soul, they're in our energy. So you can start realizing, oh, this is self-awareness. This is why I act like this. So in the book, we have find your top three archetypes, which are sun, moon, and rising sign, are the three we have you kind of look up
Oh,
because the sun's your main identity. It's how you show the world who you are. It's
right.
where you're confident. It's where you shine, where you stand out, where you want to be seen. Then the moon is your inner nature. It's where your vulnerable side, it's your emotions, it's the part of you you hide. But it's how you impulsively and intuitively react is your moon sign.
And then your rising sign, right?
The rising is your physical appearance and how you deal with stress. And it's how you deal with every area of life,
Right.
whatever sign it is, you react in that way. So, looking at the energies of those three archetypes, you're going to have a lot of different energies, and you're going to have those three main archetypes that you can tap into. And when you do that, it helps you understand yourself and others better. So, you can look up other people, in your life and see what is their top three, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
I was looking at my daughters
yeah,
in
yeah.
your table of contents. I've got your table of contents here and looking at my daughter and me. So when we're talking about the past life stuff and like these karmic relationships, how can we use this information to understand those relationships better and have a better flow with them?
So it's kind of like, it's basic sun sign astrology, but it's deeper. That's what we do in the book. For instance, let's look at Virgo. Virgo is a warrior. Virgo's the sage, the expert, the planner archetype. They're the hermit in the tarot deck. Okay, they're
Mm.
earth. Virgos are notorious for being anxious and overthinking. So this is the natural archetypal energies that they bring into this lifetime. Because if you chose to be born when the sun was in Virgo, then you are in essence you are the Virgo archetype. So you have these traits you bring in. Same with if you're a Cancer or a Leo. You bring in those archetypes. I know you're a Leo, creator, artist, inventor archetype. The tarot card for you is strength, right? And you're fire.
Yep.
So, you start looking at this. So you need to be creative. And if you start thinking, I'm not as creative or talented as other people, and when you start thinking this is a Leo, it'll hold you back. And also, Leos naturally want to express themselves. So the Leo energy is about if you weren't raised to be encouraged to be artistic or creative or expressive as a Leo in past lives, you bring into this life maybe some doubts about your abilities. I don't think I'm an artist. It's these past life patterns that hold you back from embracing your Leo traits.
Now, let me ask you this. Okay, so every time we're born, we have a different chart, natal chart. So
Yes.
how do my other lifetimes, natal charts?
That's hard to know because we don't have them.
Well,
But
no, we don't. Established a certain personality. We established a certain life path. We established a certain chart so that we would act in certain ways and people would react to us in certain ways. But then, how does that work?
The way I explain it, this is just my opinion. There could be people who disagree with me. I don't believe that we continually reincarnate all the time. It's not like that.
Okay.
There could be breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And
it's not just it's not a revolving door.
And we are learning on the other side and other things like that before we come back in. But the way I explain it as an evolutionary astrologer is this current life's map of your soul, birth chart, picture the sky when your soul came back into this physical realm. We know that time, place, date of the energies encompasses everything you brought from your most recent life. So it's not so much about thousands, hundreds of lives you've lived. It's about the most recent life you lived and transforming and learning from that life and those patterns. Okay. So it's like we do that every life.
Okay.
So in theory, if I had your birth chart from your most previous life before that one, that would be your birth chart. And I'd be like, this, and I'd be telling you, this is what you already learned because your node is here, your south node, all these things. But I only have this life chart. If that makes sense.
Any of us.
Yeah. But also, that's why a lot of these things are all connected, like the Akashic records. So the thing that I started realizing that creeped me out, I'll be honest with you, because I always was interested in the Akashic records, but I had met a lady that when she would see people, she would see their future. She would see, and she didn't know what it was. She was born this way. And I told her, I never knew she was reading the soul records, but that's actually what she was doing. And when we became friends, I started teaching her astrology. And this was back in 2004 when I first met her. And she would tell me what she would see about someone, and I would pull up their birth chart. And it was in the chart matched what she saw. And when I would tell her what she's like, that's in the record. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Or when I would tell her what I saw before she would tell me what she saw in the record, and it matched the nodes, the planets, all of it. And that's when I realized that all of our life, our memories, our soul's patterns and karmic lessons are in the soul records as symbology.
Okay, this makes so much sense. It's all symbols then.
Yes, it's the energy behind the symbols that has the meaning. Like, for instance, okay, you dream about, or not even a dream. Dream symbols are just like if we have a symbol in real life. Like if you're standing out here and you see a hawk in your imagination, you see a hawk. Right. You don't know where it came from. You need to analyze that because there's some message with that symbol that you're imagining or seeing in your mind. Just if you dream about a hawk, you analyze the symbol. And then people are like, but I don't understand all the symbols. And you can look them up on dream. And there's something called, this is really cool. I learned about this when I was in the school of metaphysics. It's called process psychology. And it was a guy named Arnold Mendel, a psychologist, created it. And it's a process to go back into your dream to figure out what the energies of the symbols really are. and you go back into the dream, and you have like a therapist or a counselor will lead you back to the dream, and we have you become all of the people in the dream, all of the symbols in the dream. What is the energy of that symbol? Why are you dreaming about this person? What is it about them that is in you? Or, and this whole thing is energy. And then you're like, oh, wow, that's what the dream meant. Because you know what the dream means better than anyone else yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. It's just, like I said, you're blowing my
It's
mind.
deep.
Everything is symbology. Everything is symbols,
Yes.
and I think we don't realize, but if we can realize that and look at everything as symbols, boy, that
It's
would help a lot.
Well, let me give you in our world right now, and this is what's funny. I started studying the word occultism.
Yes.
Occult just means hidden or hidden away
Right.
from
Like
good
esoteric.
knowledge.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
esoteric.
But they used to say astrology is occult. Astrology has never been occult. Some of these symbols that they're hidden in plain sight.
They're
So
hidden in plain sight.
yes, let me give you an example. When I was studying in this course, they were telling us these different symbols. So the star. In ancient cultures, they used to draw the blue star on houses to protect from evil spirits. It was a pentagram. It was not upside down. It didn't mean the devil, any of that. It was a blue star to protect houses from evil spirits as back in ancient time. And the star, think of in our world now. Law enforcement has a star, a badge.
Oh my gosh.
This is all stuff I studied back when I was in my conspiracy, I was in the wormhole. This was years ago. But anyway, I mean, it's like creepy. It's like they are protectors.
Well, and the Star of David, it's a different type of star. The
Yeah.
Star of Bethlehem, a star predicted the Messiah, right?
Yes.
Perhaps to protect the world. Who knows?
Yes. So the star,
Oh,
they wear the badge like sheriffs, police
right.
officers. And it's a symbol, an energy of protection. It's meant to be protective, protecting people, protecting you from being hurt. That is why they drew the stars on the houses in the first place.
Interesting.
They gave the symbol meaning. Just for instance,
Wait a minute, wait. Did they give the symbol meaning, or did the meaning of the symbol make itself known?
when they drew the star, they weren't drawing the Jewish,
No, they
no,
weren't. The
that
Jewish.
it wasn't that. Let me give you an example. In Hinduism, the swastika was an ancient Hindu symbol
Yes.
that Adolf Hitler used to make it into something bad. It used to be a spiritual symbol.
Yes.
So the energy that we give to these symbols in the world, they can be changed.
They
You
can
know?
be preempted. They could be
Yeah, yeah,
co-opted.
yeah. But the weird thing about it is that was a spiritual symbol. Now, when you
Remember
see
what?
it, it means evil and it's bad. Like you shouldn't even, when I lived
Yeah.
in Germany, they would have old historic relics from World War II and World War One, and they would, in Germany, it was illegal to display the swastika symbol. So
Yes.
they would have tape over it. But they would
Mhm.
sell it at these flea markets like swords and daggers and stuff. But they would have to tape over the symbol because it was, yeah.
They were giving the symbol a different power than it originally had.
Yeah.
Any of these things. So it's like the chicken or the egg. Does it have the power as the symbol, or do we assign the power? Do we create the symbol according to our symbology, or does the symbol make itself known and revealed to us for what it means?
So the symbols have been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Caveman. So that's why dreams, Carl Jung realized this collective unconscious, we're
Mm.
all connected in the dream world. These symbols the certain symbols are universal symbols. And it was really deep. And it's all connected to astrology and to the archetypes and to the tarot card, all of it. And I'll tell you another really cool thing I learned. When I was studying the Kabbalah, I was learning the tree of life and I was drawing the different spheres and everything. And in the tree of life, when you draw the tree of life out on paper, you can draw the symbols of the planets and the signs within the tree of life. The symbols of the signs of the zodiac can be, and the planet symbols. You know how,
what do you mean? Do you mean you're drawing the tree of life and then you superimpose these symbols on it, or are these symbols
yes.
inherent?
No,
Are they inherent in the tree of life?
you can draw the symbols of Saturn, Venus, Mars in the tree of life within the different spheres. You can draw them, connect them.
Okay.
So your birth chart's all symbols. So
Yeah.
we gave symbols to say this is the symbol of Aries. This is the symbol of the planet Saturn. Those symbols can be drawn within the Kabbalah, the tree of life.
Just by taking sections of the different.
You just draw Mars, the symbol for Mars right in there. Venus, Mercury. And they had me practicing this. And I'm like, I never knew this. And that's because each of the spheres in the tree of life are different levels of spiritual consciousness, different higher levels. So like we're in Malkuth, which is the earth realm, which is the lowest realm on the tree, the beginning. God is the universal creator's Kether, the very top. And each of those spheres is ruled by a planet, and the energy of the planet is associated with the spheres. This goes back to, this has been a long time. And that's why I believe, that's why astrology symbols are in the Holy Bible. They're in the Bible.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Astrology symbol. Well, now I have heard that you can take the astrology signs and line them up with the disciples too.
But it goes more than that.
Okay, tell me about that. Tell me more.
The 12 sons of Jacob, their personality traits were related to the 12 signs. The weird thing is this whole thing now with the 13th sign, which I'm not even going to get in that. There's all these theories. There's like a 13 zodiac sign. We don't go in ancient astrology or Western astrology, but Mary Magdalene was the 13th disciple.
Right. Oh, I love her.
Yes. And yeah, all that. So anyway, in the book of Revelation, it pretty much says that God created the signs and the seasons and the star. That is that is tropical astrology, is talked about in the book of Genesis when God created the world. Because tropical astrology is based on the seasons of the year. That's what makes it work. That's why it never changes. Because we know every April, the sun goes in the star constellation Aries and starts spring. Every fall, it goes into Libra that starts the fall season, which is Aries polar opposite in the sky. It never changes. Cancer starts the winter. Cancer starts the summer. They're polar opposites in the sky at all time. So tropical astrology is talked about in the book of Genesis. That's why it works and it's never changed all this time, because it doesn't change. It's based on the seasons of the year.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's pretty cool, because how is this still the same? Because it's been thousands of years. It's the ecliptic. The sun goes along it's all science. It's math. And then this is what's crazy. So then if you don't know astrology, some people would know this, but in the New Testament, the disciples asked Jesus, how will we know when you will return? And he said two things. There shall be signs in the sun, moon, and stars upon my return. Okay, come on. That's pretty. It's in red. He said it.
He said it. It's in red.
Then he says, this is where it gets symbolic, because he talked in symbols. He talked in stories. He told them, follow the man with the alabaster jar into the house he dwells.
Right.
You know who the man holding the alabaster jar is in the straw?
No.
Aquarius.
Oh,
we are in the age of Aquarius right now. The symbol of the sign Aquarius is the face of a man, or the man holding an alabaster jar pouring water out of it. That's Aquarius' symbol. He told them to follow him into the house he dwells, which is where we're at right now in our world. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're awakening. Technology is exploding.
Well, and it feels like all the old stuff is crumbling and falling away.
And this is what he said. And he said to follow it, because look how technology's taken over. It's like you don't have a choice. You have to use it.
Right.
And now AI is taking over too. And you have to use AI now. They're making us learn AI for my job. We have to utilize some AI to teach students, so they do it ethically. I mean, there's all this stuff going on, and it's because Pluto went into Aquarius for good this year, 2025. And there's all this stuff historically, astrologically in history, that these things have not happened since the 1800s.
Exactly. This summer, we had the same type of configuration that we did in 1776.
And now the fact that he told them to follow the man with the alabaster jar in the house he dwells. He didn't say run away from the man with the alabaster jar.
No.
He said to follow him. So that was symbolic. Okay. Everyone can interpret it different. Christian philosophers probably disagree with me, and it has nothing to do with astrology, but I know it does, because that is the symbol of ancient Aquarius. And then it gets weirder. Aquarius is associated with the star in the tarot card deck. So also it's the revolutionary, the rebel, the outlaw, the misfit. Okay. So the other thing in the book of Revelation, this is the coolest thing. So in the book of Revelation, it talks about the face of a man, the face of a lion,
Right.
the face of an eagle, and the face of a bull. Those are the 4 fixed signs of astrology in the zodiac. Taurus is the bull. Eagle was the ancient symbol of Scorpio.
It was.
Yes. And the ancient symbol used to be the eagle.
Oh.
Scorpio's lower vibration symbol is the scorpion that stings to kill and protects itself. But its higher vibration is the eagle, and it used its symbol in the olden day, a long time ago. New age, everyone says it's the scorpion, but it's actually an eagle.
Interesting.
And then the face of the man is Aquarius. And then the lion is Leo, which is Aquarius's polar opposite. So they're mentioned in the book of Revelation.
Oh, how interesting. Okay, so what that means, right? Why?
So I traveled when I lived in Germany. I went all over the place, and I was obsessed with going into churches, old churches.
Yes.
I went into many Catholic churches. Those 4 symbols were in the church everywhere.
Yes, I've seen this. Yes.
Why would these symbols be in the Catholic Church?
Okay. Everybody thinks that if you are into mystical stuff is antithetical to any type of religion. No, the early church was rooted in mysticism. It's part and parcel of it. We've got it wrong now.
Yeah.
But it was all part and parcel of the symbology, this astrological energy, this astronomical energy. It's fascinating. Okay, so this is blowing my mind. Now I'm thinking that your book, I am looking for the title. Your book,
Astrology,
Zodiac Archetypes. Yeah.
Yes.
Using
it's out there for order now. It's out there.
Yes. Using your 6th sense, which is interesting, to transform past life patterns. It's interesting, Carmen, because earlier today, we are recording this as of December 1st, 2025. It's not going to come out until February. But earlier today, so if you're watching this episode or listening to this episode, the previous episode is about a woman who wrote about your common 6th sense.
Oh, cool.
Exactly. You cannot make this stuff up, as I like to say. Our 6th sense, I think, is getting us all in line now and connecting us all now. And I just heard from my guides that by the time this comes out, we're all going to see that. So that's very interesting. Okay, this is really great. So is this a Llewellyn book? Is it
Old Books, John Hunt Publishing in the UK. Yes, it's available UK, Europe, and then USA, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere books are sold.
Wherever you get books. And the Kindle version too, right? The ebook version as well. And it does have illustrations in it, you said.
Yes, it has the images of all 12 paintings that Michelle Staplefer did, the artist in UK, friend of mine. Really cool. I've been posting them on social media. I'm going to post Sagittarius soon. It's a lady driving a convertible in the Italian mountains. Her hair's blowing in the wind. So we tried to capture the essence and symbolism of each sign.
Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Your social media, you've got a Facebook group, and it sounds like that is like really the hub to connect with you. And what is that?
Deep Soul Divers Astrology with Carmen Turner Schott. Instagram, Carmen Turner Schott author. And then carmenturnerschott.com is my website.
Oh, fantastic. We will put the links in the show notes. Carmen, just send me those links and I'll put them in the show notes, right? Because I know I've got them before, but I have to look for them. And
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
I remember when we were doing, because we did a joint author tour. We still can work on that if we think.
Yeah, we can do it more.
Yeah, let's go. We should go to Herman. And
I would love to go to Herman.
Let's go to Herman. Herman, Missouri is a Missouri wines, and
that's right by where I grew up, man.
I know.
Winery and Adam Puchna Winery. Oh, they're the best.
Love it. Oh yeah, we should do a book signing in Herman right off the trip off. And we'll do the whole weekend. We'll do a girlfriend's weekend in Herman. I remember in our little tour in Missouri, that there were people coming out to see you because of your Facebook group about the eighth house.
Yeah, that was fun. That was so sweet. The lady, I love meeting people in real life that are in my Facebook groups. It was pretty neat.
I know, it's really cool. You are so prolific and so active out there everywhere. One more time, the name of the book is Astrology's Zodiac Archetypes, using your sixth sense to transform life patterns, past life patterns. Oh my goodness. And then your website, of course, is carmenturnerschott.com. So thank you so much for joining me today. I know we didn't talk specifically about the book, but there's so much overlap.
Symbols. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? With all of this, so much symbology and history with these archetypes. Yeah. All right. So I am looking forward to our Herman visit.
Yes, let's make a plan. I love it.
I love this too. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Don't know what to watch next? Decisions. Well, we've got some suggestions. You can click this little video here and watch that. It's something that we think you're going to like. If you like the last one, you're going to like that one too. You can also click on the subscribe button. And if you do that, then you'll get notifications whenever we have a new video up. Win-win, right?